Alrighty, team. Let me go ahead and pull this up and move my face. Okie dokie. So Team BGL Work-Life Balance Challenge. This week we are focusing on respecting personal and family boundaries. And there are a lot of different ways to skin the cat with this one. But in general, we are going to focus on boundaries for this topic specifically, because that can aid in that respecting of personal and family responsibilities. So just a quick note, we all have lives. We know this, and this is good, and it's encouraged. It's good to have those things that really breathe life into you during your free time, whether that's your family or your friends or other hobbies. Like, it's important to have those things because that passion in those areas of life bleed into other areas of life and help you to find purpose, whether it's professional or personal. And I think keeping in mind that we all have our own personal lives and we're all kind of working through this work-life balance thing really helps to keep things in perspective and helps us to keep each other accountable, and also helps a little bit with empathy, right? Like knowing that other team members are also working on their work-life balance and are also trying to have boundaries and also have lives independent of what goes on here at work, I think really helps in us all showing up as our authentic selves and being helpful with each other and just giving each other a little bit of a break when things don't quite go as planned, but also supporting each other in like kind of allowing for that authenticity before it even goes off the rails. So like I said, it all goes back to boundaries, right? So as a team, we really value authenticity and encourage our team members to share and be open about all aspects of their lives. And this open door policy can actually be aided by implementing certain boundaries, which can seem a little bit counterintuitive, but it's really not. Because there are some pretty serious consequences of not establishing boundaries, and those types of consequences include taking on workloads that are not yours. And this really goes beyond like going above and helping teams when certain teams are super lean, getting caught up in personal issues, blurring lines between work and personal hours, which we know as a remote team can be super easy to do. And we don't really experience this on our team, but if you're ever in another professional setting, one thing to keep in mind is that not setting boundaries can really result in increased gossip or resentment within the team. All of these things we want to avoid. So we want to make sure to set up some really clear boundaries ahead of time before some of these issues kind of take form. So we're going to focus on 3 types of boundaries to set and really protect. They are physical boundaries, which I came up with some unique considerations since our team is primarily remote, mental boundaries, and then emotional boundaries as well. So physical boundaries. Make sure that you have a cutoff time for work events. And so choosing what optional events you will and will not attend based on cutoff times that align with your personal schedule. And for our team, this might mean morning cutoff times, evening cutoff times, depending on what time zone you're in. But really aligning those times with your personal schedule and staying true to them for events that are optional. Say no to working on weekends. So unless your position requires it, I really encourage you to hold weekends as personal time. And this creates a real dividing line. So in your mind, you're keeping track of your hours, but choosing not to work on the weekends really keeps a physical dividing line between your personal life and your professional life. And then taking vacation days. So we are so lucky here at Team BGL that our leadership really values taking time to step away when you need it. So take the time when you need it for your physical and mental health, because we all very much value the ability to take time away, whether it's to go on vacation or do a staycation or take care of what you need to keep yourself and your family in good health. Take time when you need to, absolutely. So some mental boundaries. So set working hours and actually stick to them. Consider sharing these working hours with your team to keep you accountable. So I share my working hours with the coaches so they know when I'm going to be online. I know there's a certain amount of hours that we like our team members to mostly be available and be online, but share your own personal ones with your team so that they know and they can keep you accountable, because we all want each other to be accountable to these boundaries. Step away when you're working on deep work, and do not feel the need to be on call, especially when you're engaged in that really deep work, because the whole team may be doing it as well. So feeling free to not check your email or not be on Slack every second of the time that you're working in that deep work so that you can really focus on it, get it done, be more efficient, and you don't have to be available for everyone all the time. And then bring up issues ASAP. So don't let them stew and turn into any kind of gossip or resentment. And again, I really don't think that this is a problem on our team. But if this may help you in another professional setting, I hope it does. Just bringing up issues as soon as they arise instead of holding on to them so that they don't continue to stew. And then some emotional boundaries. So communicate upfront. This communication is also important when you're letting your team members know how you like to receive feedback. Just again, so that you can avoid any kind of resentment or anger or frustration. Communicate with your team immediately when something comes up, and then communicate how you like to receive feedback when you begin working with different team members. Delegate work when it's necessary. And this is really integral in avoiding burnout, something that's running rampant through a lot of our workforce these days. So sometimes you just got to do the things, but sometimes you need to delegate the things. And when that time comes, you'll know, and our team will support you too in helping to delegate out some of those things that you need to do so that you're not getting yourself burned out. And then creating a schedule, and this should include work and personal obligations so that everything has balance and it can all be included, because we want you to be able to engage in all of the things that you love in your personal life as well as your professional life. So create a schedule, or like a short calendar, or like a quick list. It doesn't have to take you a long time, just to outline where your major professional responsibilities are versus your major personal responsibilities and obligations too, so that you can fit everything in. So overall, setting these boundaries are intended to contribute to your work-life balance and allow you to engage in all of the things that create in you this health, happiness, and love that we really value higher than almost anything here at BGL. So all of these boundaries are intended to help with this work-life balance and to help you live out your most personal and professional desires here within our team. So some action items for this week. So I want you to do a weekday activity. So one activity with a friend or family member on a weekday. I know that's hard, but I encourage you to do it. And that'll get you 3 points for every activity. So if you do one, if you do more than one, then you get more than 3 points. Weekly agenda. So do not spend too much time on this, like 5 minutes. Create a brief agenda for the week that includes your major professional responsibilities and personal responsibilities, just so that you can see like a visual representation of where your week is going. And then your weekly items that we have every week. So your 10,000 steps, watching the weekly video, which you're doing right now, and then submitting your point survey. So thanks so much, guys, and have a great time this coming week.